Hey YouTubers, Steven here. Okay, it's late March. It's kind of windy, so hopefully the wind isn't too bad in this video. Today we're gonna change power window regulator and motor for my 2001 Dodge Caravan Sport. I'm gonna show you how easy it is to do, so let's get started. Alright, so first thing we're gonna do, we gotta get rid of this door cover. Alright, now there's a bolt in here, there's a bolt down the handle, and there's one bolt down on the bottom of the door that you can't see. So we're just going to use a jewelry screwdriver just because it's small, and we're going to pry these little caps out. Don't lose them because you want them to come back on your door. So now that we get the caps out, we're going to unscrew the screws out of here. It's just your typical Phillips screwdriver. And like I said, I got the one that was on the bottom, I got the one in the door handle, and one up here in the door latch. So there's a bunch of clips in the bottom. You can just take a regular screwdriver and you slide it in between the door panel and the door and just pry it out just enough to get your fingers in there, and then just slowly pull out all the way around. Now if your fingers aren't strong enough, you can always use like a little pry bar, and that'll help you pull it all out. Okay, and then the door swings fairly free. Just push your door lock down, and it'll make it easier for taking the skin off. Like so. Then, we gotta look on the back side. So here is our door latch. Okay, you can see this little plastic piece. That just flips out. It's much easier to do when you can actually see it. Okay, so the door latch just flips out, and this little bar just slips down, just like that. Now the next thing is all the wiring harness. Disconnect it, and then we just do the same with the other one. Okay, there's our door skin. Already off, ready to go. Next thing we want to do, we want to pop out our speakers. Put those screws in a different spot than our door screws, because they are a different length, I think. These speaker screws are out. We're just going to pull our speaker out here. And we're just going to unclip it. Which may be easier said than done. There we go. Alright, speaker's out. Next thing we want to do is we want to just gently pull this door skin off. Okay, so the next step is we're going to take some tape. We got to tape our window in place, because when we disassemble this, we don't want our window dropping down, and worst case scenario, it hits the bottom and breaks. We wouldn't want that. Plus, we want it out of our way. So just using some ordinary masking tape, we're going to tape off the window. Tape it into place, I should say. Alright, there we go. You can use duct tape if you want to. Don't be afraid to use the tape, because you know what? You're getting your hands all over the window. You're going to wash them anyways. And a little trick for tape, if you didn't know, just fold a piece over. That way you'll always know where the end is. Alright, let's get this bad boy out of here. Now, the hardest part of the job is actually getting the nuts out from behind the regulator. They're a rubber plastic covered nut, and you really can't see what you're doing back here. It's a T30 head, alright, hex, that I used to get in here. Let me just see. Oh, we don't want to tighten the bolts. Always good to check before you start ramming on bolts. No, those ones are rubber. Alright, so they felt metal. So we're just going to use a pair of vice grips in here. We're going to clamp them on, and hopefully they'll hold in place. You may need to use two hands to actually get your vice grips in the right spot where you can't really see. Alright, that one's on there. I don't know if it's going to hold. And it's not. You can hear it sliding around. This will take some playing to get done. Worst case scenario, if you tear the crap out of these rubber things, it doesn't matter. Just go buy some other bolts or some other nuts for it. Make it work. Okay, so this is what's on the back of the bolts that are inside. Actually, there's a groove here where it sits inside the metal door frame, and then this annoying little nut is actually inside this rubber skin. The good news is most aftermarket motors, regulators, at least the one that I picked up, has got new bolts and nuts for it. If not, then just take your hex bolt, match up a new nut, put a washer on it. No big deal. Okay, so next step. Okay, a regulator or motor is now free. Okay, from all this, we got to disconnect our power. We're just going to push down and pull out the clip. And I need something to cut. This plastic wrap here needs to be cut off, and I think a screwdriver will work just fine for that. Break it off. This way our cables are free. Okay, now comes the fun part. There's a clip in here and a clip up in here. I've seen some videos where you can lower your motor, lower your window down so your clips are right here, you block it so you can slide your window back up. But in the case of this, my motor doesn't even work at all. Tapping it doesn't do anything, so I can't move my motor. So what we do is we'll grab a little hook pick like this, Okay, and just feel up inside. I mean, you can look at your new one that you have and basically find your clip. All right, we're just going to slide our hook up in here and hook it through the little clip, and it's just a little tug. Just don't want that to come off. Normally it's a little tug. Make sure I get it hooked on the right thing here. Yes. Alright, there she goes. That's the first one. Don't mind your fingers, you will get a little scratch, a few little scratches on them. And I'll find the other clip over here. And what this does is, I'll show you on the other one, but it's actually where your window has two plastic pieces that have little studs on them. And it's actually what snaps it into the regulator. Now once I find the other one, pull the other clips out. There she be. Alright, that one's hooked. And I pulled out the other clip, and this is basically what we're pulling out here. Alright, it's a little clip. Alright, it's much easier when you put the window in because you don't have to try and fumble around and find these without actually looking. Because we'll actually have these left in on the new regulator and the window just snaps into them. It's really just that easy. Okay, so our window is now just about disconnected from the regulator. The next thing we're going to do, my cameraman hands me the camera without getting the lens on my hand. Okay, the next thing, alright. Okay, there's one bolt up in here. Okay, I'll come back from the door a little bit so you can see where it is. There's a bolt up in there, okay, that needs to come undone, but you don't have to pull it out all the way. You can't really see if the camera's picking this up, but down here, okay, you can see we just have to loosen it off, and then we just pull it up and the bolt will go through the hole. And there's another one up here in the front. Oops. And there's another one here in the front. Okay, just above. You can see the regulator here. Okay, and the bolt is just above it. And then the other bolt is right here. Easy peasy. So it's the same size T30 hex nut that we're going to use, or hex socket. Get it in there and we'll just slack it off a bit. Going to do this with all four of them. Slack them off. All right, there's one and two. Now, this is the fun part. Because as you can see, the cables crisscross, and this is the fun part of getting these things out. So now let's twist it that way. Alright, there's one side out. And like I said, this is the hardest thing. You've got to move this thing around so you can end up getting your ends out. This all around so we can bottom out on this one. Alright, there you go, people. It's just that easy to get rid of the old one. Now, I was mentioning the clips. I'll find a clip here. Alright, this is basically where the clip goes. Up in here, and this is what your window, the plastic stud, snaps into, and this is what we were pulling out. But the good news is, when we put in the new one, we're going to leave these on. We're just going to snap the window in. We don't have to worry about trying to get them up in place. Alrighty, so here's our new window regulator motor. You can see our clips are already in here for us. Now, these typically go in like this. Okay, the greased rail side goes in like so. So the fun part is actually going to be getting these back into place. So we're going to slide our bottom in first. Try and squeeze our motor in here too. This is the only challenging part of this job, is getting these rails back in. And of course your hands are going to get full of the grease. Alright, front one's in. Slide our motor back out. Make sure to be gentle on your electrical connections too. Slack. Alright, there we go. It's in there. We'll turn this around. Window stud is over there, right? Cool. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get our bolt hole lined up here. And very carefully we're going to take our bolt on our end of our socket, get it in, and get it started. And of course my hands are all greasy. There we go. That one started. We're going to line up this one. Get it started here. Alright, that one started. Now we just got to get in our bottom bolts. Alright, our window regulator is in place. We don't need to get these too tight just yet, because we're actually gonna mount the motor, and then we're gonna lower our window down so we can snap it in place, and I'll show you how to do that. Alright, now that I get all this grease off my hands aren't as slippery. Now, if you don't remember which holes that your motor goes into, all you gotta do, Shelby, zoom into here. All you gotta do is see this little ring around the hole. Can you see that in the camera? Little ring around the hole, little ring around the hole, little ring around the hole. This is where the rubbers were for those bolts. So that's where our motor is gonna go. And if you actually hold this up to those holes, you'll see that they all line up perfectly anyways. So we're gonna take our new bolts and our new nuts, and these are both 10 millimeter. We're just gonna feed it in to said hole and put our nuts on. No need to crank right down on them tight, because you still need a little bit of flex, you know, so you can get your other nuts in. And then we can center it after we're done. Alright, so we've got our 10 mil socket, 10 mil wrench, and if you don't have any tools yet, I highly recommend you spend the money, buy the lifetime guarantee tools. It'll save you so much money in the long run, because if you break a wrench, break a socket or a ratchet, you just walk in, hand them your broken piece, they give you a new one, and you walk out the store. Money well saved. So we're just gonna tighten this up here. You don't have to crank on it too much, you know. It's got to be tight, but I'm just using my fingers in the back before I put the wrench on it, and then I'm going about 1/4 of a turn. And that's it. I mean, that motor's not going anywhere. It's really that easy. Alright, now the next step is we need to attach our window into our regulator here, so I'm going to tighten this up a little more. Again, it doesn't have to be super tight at this point. We may need to make some adjustments. Okay, now that that's done, now comes the fun part. We're going to take our tape off our window and let the window come down. So we can snap it into place. And you should always be ready to grab the window so it doesn't come crashing down on you. So you see how I did that? I just stick my hand underneath. Alright, so we're going to slide her down. Okay, can you see in here, Shelp? Yeah. Okay, so we have our little stud here. Okay, we're just going to slide our window down over top of it. Keep in mind you have one in the back too. You want our window to come down just a hair and line it up. and pull both of them in with your hands. Snap, like you just heard. Now the window is secured in place, and we're already pretty much good. Now we just need to tighten up our bolts in here. Make sure they're good and secure. And again, you don't have to ream on them, just as soon as you hit snug, maybe a quarter of a turn. Just like that. So I've taken the switch out of the door handle, and we're going to plug it in here. Down. And up. We're going to check our alignment here, just to make sure that it's alright. It's really that easy. Now we just got to put our door back together and we're done. Okay, we're going to slide that up in there just like so. Now our door handle. Okay, here's our little slide. Okay, we need to get this up in the hole. It's kind of a balancing act. Of course, I really can't see, so I'm trying to film at the same time. Okay, get it up, and then we just slide our piece over. Snaps on, our door handle secure. Just want to slide our door lock plunger in the hole. Then we hang it. Gonna hang it in the groove on our window, just like so. Alright, it's all lined up. Now we just gotta go underneath, make sure our pins are lined up with our holes. And just snap it all in. And as you can see, it's all secured. Now we just got to replace our screws. So one screw goes up here in the door handle. And sometimes the door skin may not be down far enough. And just give it a little tap up so we can see the hole and get our screw into it. Pull the door latch, make it easier to get the screw up in there. Snug. And there are two different caps that go on these. You see this one's got little edges, like little wings, and this one is just smooth. Well, the smooth one goes up in the top. And it just pushes in just like that. Okay, and then just gonna put the other screw down in here. Snug as a bug in a rug. There's a little groove just in here. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take the little wing. I know there's not much space in here, my fingers are rather big, but just slide it along the top until you see the other side goes in the groove, and then just gently push down. There you go. Looks like it was never taken out. So then the last thing we need to do is put our switch back on. So we're just going to reach inside the hole, pull out our connector, Helps if we turn this the right way, snap it into place, and these just snap back in the door like that. And we flip the switch, and up comes the window and down goes the window. So it really is just that easy, folks, to change a power window, motor, and regulator. I haven't been hard at it, but it's probably been about an hour and a half, you know, to change it. And you think about the money that you're saving by doing it yourself. So if you've got any questions, you know, drop me a message in my inbox or put in the comment section. I'll try and help you if I can. I'm not a licensed mechanic, but I do my own mechanics, and I hope you found my video very informative. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I have all kinds of great videos that you may find informational or entertaining or what have you. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.